Welcome back, BDSLers. This is episode 3 of the As the Spheroid Bounces podcast. Thanks for joining me here. Some games going on as we speak. Hopefully, we'll get live updates for you as we tackle those. But aside from that, the big topic tonight, we have two guests to give us their thoughts on how their teams have done through the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm really glad they both were able to come on because, in my opinion, very similar stories between the both of them. Some local league pundits picked them to finish not very well in their division, and so far so good for both of them. So tonight, I'm really happy to be joined by Liam Krug of South Buffalo FC and Alan. Oh man, sorry, Alan. There, got something caught in my throat when I was about to say your name. From Westside FC. So, guys, thanks for joining me here on the podcast today. Uh, like I said, both of you had very similar stories on the lead into the year. People who like to predict things in the league maybe got some things wrong. So we'll touch on that with you guys here today. So thanks for both joining me. Um, Maybe we'll start with you, Alan, because you're in my division here. A 2-0 start to the beginning of the season for you guys, off and running. What's kind of been the theme of the season in those two wins? Tell us about the big two results. Maybe you could start with yesterday's win over Niagara FC.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate you having me on. I mean, it was we've been playing really well as a team. Everyone's really kind of bought into the system and formation we're playing, and um, we returned a solid group. We returned 13 from our team last year, and added a lot of good pieces to complement. And the new guys have gelled. We had them playing indoors with us a fair amount. We did a few friendlies before the season started, and you hit the ground running. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that this was actually the first season in our history that we won on opening day, and so this is definitely the first time we're 2-0. But we're feeling good and having fun.
Liam, you want to touch on your team's opening two game start here, a new team in the league, so maybe less known about you guys coming into the year, but still a very impressive 2-0 start to the season for you guys.
Yeah, and we're pretty excited about the 2-0 start so far. Our team we came in, we weren't really sure what we were going to get first year in the league, so kind of just picking players wherever we can. Some of us have played together when we were younger, so just kind of growing up together, learning how to play together. But obviously, when we got onto the field for our first game, we were pretty excited about how we played. And then we tried to carry that energy into our second game yesterday. So yeah, we're excited about the way we started so far.
Alan, one point that I've noticed here in your two wins, I mean, I think you are the only team to still not allow a goal in championship division. I know, we're only talking 2 games in here, but still a very impressive defensive record. What do you kind of attribute to that for you guys in the back line? I know there's been a lot of changes there, a new goalie this year. What's kind of been like is it just a team focus on it, or has it been really the changes that's helped you get that record?
Yeah, I'd say the last couple of years we've had a pretty strong focus on our defense and slow. And I think I don't remember exactly, but last year we were pretty good on the goals against front. And I mean, this year, yeah, I mean, Callum Christie at the back in goal he's been great. I mean, it was really a turning point in the match yesterday around the 60th minute. Big save on a PK. And we were all fired up from that. He was fired up. It was I mean, anytime that happens, it's great. And he's a presence back there. And then yeah, I got some new young guys, and just a lot of our guys are showing up too. We've had good attendance. We've had I think 6 or 7 subs each of the first 2 weeks. And we've got a couple, even a couple guys injured still that haven't played yet, from preseason or indoor. And it's we've just been playing really well back there. We're calling the ball and playing smart. A lot of communication, and I mean Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. Callum sets the tone back there. He doesn't shut up.
It's good to have someone back there in net who isn't afraid to speak their mind. I agree with that for sure.
If you've ever met Callum or played
Mhm.
with him, against him, or been in the same zip code, you know that.
I think I've seen some of his social media stuff that would attest to you being absolutely correct on that front. I think there, Alan.
Yeah.
Um, Liam, kind of the opposite for you guys almost in a way. You guys lead Division Three in goals for, really led by your top goal scorer, Caleb Stewart. He's had a terrific start to the year. Not to say your goals against have been, bad at all by any stretch, but it really seems to be like an offensive show for you guys when you hit the field there. Am I wrong in that assessment, or is that just, kind of the focus of you guys and how you're playing?
No, I think you're definitely right at that. Caleb's been terrific up top for us so far. It's kind of crazy because you can give him like the most insane pass and he'll somehow make something out of it. Somehow he'll get to the net and he'll score for us. So that's been really quite a few great attacking pieces that are in that midfield that are pretty calm on the ball. They've been making a lot of chances for us. So we've been obviously, yeah, Caleb's been playing great, but we have some other attacking options up top too that have been doing pretty good for us.
Alan, one thing I noticed also in your recruitment here is you guys maybe took some chances. You were active on the BDSL free agent list. What kind of steps did you guys take when you approached that list this year? Was it, bring the guys in for a trial, see what they have, or after a conversation with them, did you feel comfortable kind of taking a leap of faith? I think, we've seen a lot of player movement on that, which I've been really happy with because I was unsure on how it might go from the start. But it appears in your position that maybe you found a couple of really good players off that list.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to the league, whoever came up with the idea of having, the Google Sheet. For that, I think it's just a really efficient way to allow new players to get involved, allow managers to look for, some extra pieces. I mean, it's great to have all the information that's on there, previous playing history, if what division they're even seeking to play in, gives you a sense of maybe their level. But I will say, no, we didn't take any, blind leaps of faith over a conversation. I've done that in
Sure.
the past, and
Yeah.
it's not always gone great. It's gone well sometimes, but usually at least a recommendation. But no, we got guys out playing indoor with us. We got guys out, playing in the friendlies. And so you get them out at least once. You meet and see how they gel, see how they play, and then if they stick around for a beer afterwards, that wins points too.
Liam, before we get to the next question for you, just a quick update that I'm seeing here on Twitter. We have one final here, Outlaws and FK Bosnia. Looks like they came to a 1-1 draw here tonight. And then the other game that I saw that had a couple updates so far were Cavalucci Marini versus Rangers. That's going on at Duville. It looks like the Cavs are up 2-0 over the Rangers. So those are a couple of games I saw with updates so far. I know Great White Buffalo is playing tonight too. I don't think I saw an update for those games. Maybe you guys did, but if you did, chime in. Um, for you, Liam, and your team, we kind of joked about it on the podcast last week. And me as a South Buffalo guy, I especially know this all too well. It seems like it's a big family affair over at with South Buffalo FC. With that kind of pre-built structure like already in place, did that kind of like dominate on how you guys were going to decide to build the roster? Knowing that you had so much like family involvement in the team, or did that kind of help you guys out in knowing that a lot of the roster is already built, so it was really kind of filling in pieces after that?
I think it was just kind of like what you said. It was the family aspect. Obviously, Brian Huck and Connor Huck are managers. They already bring two Hucks to the table, and then you add two more and their other two siblings, and Blake and Tyler, and then they're good friends with the Finn family. So you get Jack and Tommy, and then it was kind of just reaching out to some of the old players that we used to play with, and kind of seeing if they were interested. And then you kind of just build the roster from there. Then we had a couple friends that they used to play with from like high school leagues and stuff like that. So it was kind of just like you were asking people who used to play with, saying like, do you still want to play? Are you interested? And they kind of joined in. But kind of happy with the way that it turned out, because even though we're kind of getting a bunch of different players from different places, we all kind of know each other. We used to play together when we were younger. Either we played with each other, or we played against. So we're all kind of pretty familiar with each other, which is nice.
Now, this next question I think is really for both of you, because like I said, to open it, coming into the season, both of you guys, by the people who like to make predictions, were put towards the end of the tables in your respective divisions. And so far, obviously, you've been proving that wrong. And I think it's different between teams. There's definitely a big group of people who care a lot about the league and follow that kind of thing. And some teams who really don't care at all in that kind of thing. So I'm just curious, like coming into the season with having those expectations set by people like myself, was that kind of like, I don't want to say like bulletin board material, but maybe a little bit. Or was it just like out of sight, out of mind for your guys' teams? Alan, maybe your squad, because it's been in the league a little bit more, might have that in the back pocket. Liam, maybe not so much for you. So I think the question applies to both of you guys because of the positions you're in. So whoever wants to take that first, I guess.
I can jump in. Yeah, I mean, I definitely got a slew of text messages, from my guys, and I just laugh. I love it. I think it's great because it's every year, Mike. I love it. I told you on when it came out, yeah, it's a little bit of bulletin board material. Like it's great. Like I love being counted out. It's a fun place to be, early in the season, especially when we've added a bunch of guys who are mostly unknowns, which our team has always pretty much been. Like there's not, with some exceptions, like throughout our years, like we've been mostly guys who've been sort of under the radar. And so, no, that's great. I mean, we like to use that a little bit. I mean, it's not like we don't have any sort of literal bulletin board. But a group me does the trick for that. But no, it's fun. I love giving you, hell for it too, Mike.
Absolutely. Liam, same kind of idea. Is that something you guys were even maybe aware of, especially as a new team, or did you see that and kind of take that to heart?
Obviously we're new to the league, so not a lot of people have seen us play before. So we didn't really think much of it being placed at the bottom of the table. We just knew we were gonna try and come out and play our best and see what happens. We've been pleasantly surprised with the way that we've been playing. Really happy with some of the pieces that we have that have been getting us through these games. And obviously we're looking forward to the rest of the season, see what else we can put out there on the field.
Again, this kind of question I think applies to both of you guys. Now, if you wanted to poke a little bit of holes in your 2-0 start, you could argue that some of your victories have come against teams that, again, the pundits have put towards the bottom of the table. I guess I'm just wondering, like, again, is that a thought in your mind? Is it like a patient approach because you've taken into account the teams you are playing, or do you guys really believe like this is the truest showing of your team and that you can carry this momentum forward? Again, same kind of question for both of you. I think Liam, maybe we'll start with you this time.
Yeah, obviously we played some of the teams that maybe have been in the lower parts of the bracket, but obviously I think Celtic, you guys had them placed maybe like middle of the table. So for us, it was we kind of played the same way against both those teams, and we didn't really change anything crazy between those two games. Kind of still playing our style of play and going with it. So we've been happy with the two victories that we've been doing with that. So we're hoping that we could take that same momentum and kind of put it towards our next couple of games. And we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long season. I mean, we're just a couple games in, but wins are wins, and getting 3 points especially in the championship division, is always important. Those points add up. And so, we're feeling good. I think we feel good about the way we've played in each of the games. We felt, I think mostly in control. I think we controlled possession quite a bit against Rangers, and then last night with with Niagara, it was a hard fought game. I mean, it was rainy, it was cold,
Yeah.
clean game, but very physical, I'd say. And we had hit a couple crossbars. Jackson didn't get on the score sheet last night, but it wasn't. He had one from a ways out that hit the crossbar, I think we're feeling good. We're not counting any eggs. I know like there's more good opponents ahead. I think Niagara, is a strong side. I think they're gonna have a good year. I think Rangers, needs to find themselves a little bit. I think they're in a tough spot. It looks like at halftime with Cavs right now. So we'll see. We know there's going to be some good runs ahead of us.
Now, with your guys' good starts to your league play, cup play is approaching. South Buffalo, I think you have a game on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, or at least tentatively
Yeah.
scheduled. And Alan, I don't think you guys play for a little bit longer, maybe the first week of June or second week of June or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So with that in mind, with the hot start to league play, is there any like consideration to the cup maybe taking a bit of a backseat and you guys, continuing the focus on there? I know some clubs view the cup as kind of an extra thing, and if you do great, then great, but if not, you still have the league part to worry about. Or does your hot start in those divisions like make you even want to perform better in those tournaments too? Because why not try and go for a double or a treble if you could make it? Again, the question applies to both of you guys here in this scenario. So whoever might want to jump in first on that one.
Yeah, I mean the cup it's all about more soccer. You win games in the cup, you get to keep playing. It's it's that's the way I've always approached it. That's the way we've always approached it. Traditionally we've struggled to get our numbers out on the weeknights, and I've played more games in goal in cup play than perhaps I would have liked. But I think we're psyched for it. We've got an in division opponent in the first round in Olean who we've never faced, and so we've got him at least twice this year. So it should be fun. We'll be playing under the lights, and we're looking forward to it. But no, I don't think the start has any effect on the way we're going to approach the cup match. We're not going to sit guys or anything to make sure we're healthy, for league play. We're trying to play as much soccer as we can.
Liam, what are your views on like the Wood Cup in that with your start?
Right now we're just kind of taking it game by game. So we're trying to get obviously the victories out of our games that are ahead. We haven't really scouted much of who we're playing in the Wood Cup. I think we're playing Moby Ducks, but don't really know much about them. Obviously, this is our first Wood Cup, so we're kind of just excited to have another game on our roster, and we're going to go for the win. Obviously, if we win, we'll be super excited about it. Not really going to change anything going forward. We're just going to go and do it, try our best, and hopefully we'll come out with the win for that game.
Alan, with you guys coming up, finishing out the rest of the month, you have Lycan United and then Ruse. All at home, by the way, too. Most all of your games have been at Duville here to start the year, even though Rangers, I guess, was technically a away game. There's been a lot of talk about this year in championship sort of being wide open, and you guys now with the start are right in the thick of it here. Do you kind of view the rest of the field as that, or do you think that there is kind of a maybe a hierarchy here that you guys, may or may not be invading with that, with this big start for you guys?
Yeah, it's I think it's tough to say still. I feel like there's some obviously a couple new teams in the division, and Wolves and Borussia, and I don't. I know Wolves a little bit, but we've never played them. So I know, we've always played Ruse and both Lycan squads pretty tight. I think I think it's pretty. It feels like it's probably a pretty evenly matched division. I think there's a decent amount of parity. I'm just looking at the table right now. Um, I don't know that there's a set hierarchy. I think Ben said it last week. Like so much of the results are how seriously guys take it. And are you getting your numbers out? Are you yelling at each other? Are you playing together? So it's tough to say when you look at the rosters and see where it's all going to shake out. But we're looking ahead the rest of the month. I think it's like in United we have, and then Ruse. I think we're confident going into both, but we nothing's going to be easy in this division this year.
And then Liam, for your squad, your next bit of the schedule gets better in the fact that it's teams who have had good success in D3 so far. Coming up with Cosmos, albeit a new team, has done well so far in the opening couple games for them. Bangarang, a playoff team last year, and then Junior Willie's one of the favorites in the division. So this next run of games, do you guys view this as a true test on where you might be able to push up higher into the table? Come towards the end of the season, really put you guys in solid position for the playoffs.
Yeah, obviously the next couple teams that we have coming up, like you said, they're kind of higher up on the table. So we're kind of looking forward to playing them and seeing where it goes with that. We're going to try our best in each of the games. We're going to still play our style of play, obviously. And we're just going to see kind of where it goes from there. But yeah, honestly, since it's our first year in the league, we don't really know. We're just going out, we're having fun.
Right.
We're trying our best each time. So obviously we're playing Buffalo Cosmos next. They're another first year team in the league. So we'll kind of see how they're playing with that. And then we'll focus on the games after that.
Now, a question I always like asking guys, whether they've been in the league a long time, like Alan, you are, or Liam, maybe your first year in it here. The league itself is always trying and doing different things. This year we did a lot with the split for the coming of next year. It probably impacts you, Liam, a little bit with the chance at a double promotion versus others. But after COVID and all of that, the league has gotten off to a pretty good start this year. Has there been anything that you guys have seen, that has been good or bad within, the restart or return back to play? It just seems like most of everything that I've seen has been pretty positive, going from the players and the teams playing each other all the way down to the refs in that respect. It seems like the first two weeks for the league as a whole has gone really well, and I'm curious to see if your games are a reflection of that so far.
I like the confidence that you don't think you're like jinxing it or anything, Mike.
Ah.
Like, it's like easy there. No, I mean, it's been smooth for us. I think, we like turf, so, it helps, especially on a day like yesterday. But no, I think it's gone smoothly. I mean, yeah, I guess I've been in this league a long time. I've been a manager for, I think it's my 6th season as a manager. So, it feels great to be back. Missing last year was really rough. And so it's just awesome to be back playing. I'm thrilled that the league is as strong as it was. You just don't know coming off a year, without soccer. So I'm excited for the rest of the year.
Liam, your thoughts on that? Has this kind of been what you guys expected when you joined the league? As a new team, maybe you didn't know if it was going to be quite as serious as some people told you it was going to be when you joined, or have you found it more relaxed in the lower division? I'm kind of curious there with you.
Obviously it's been great. All of our games have been really nice, from the refs to, the opponents that we've been playing. They've been quality matches so far. and we're excited to play in good games against good teams. So we've just been excited to get back on the field. Obviously, with our first year being in this league, we kind of think that we have like a decent amount to prove. But I've personally liked, like you said, you were talking about whether or not how serious it was or more relaxed. I kind of like personally how serious it is, because I think it's kind of like a good community, a good knit community. I like how Twitter goes wild over certain games and everybody's kind of supporting each other. So it's been pretty cool so far. We've really liked it.
That's good. Yeah, I think, like I said, some people, when they get involved, and they start following all of that, um, and I'm sure Alan could speak more on it too, like that that kind of drives you to want to perform better and be more involved in the league. And if you're not super involved in it, not to say it takes away a little bit of it, but it keeps it more as more of like the casual aspect of it. So, I anytime that what am I trying? When we got it back, like when we were ready to kick off the season again, and all of that returned, it was really nice to kind of see that energy didn't evaporate over the year break, kind of like what you said, Alan. It was really nice to see that almost pick right back off where we left off and continue that on into the year. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like. I mean, everything did change with everyone getting on Twitter and then getting the being able to analyze results from across your division and others, in real time or right afterwards when you're together, either celebrating a win or commiserating over a loss, over some chicken wings at Fat Bob's, obviously. But it's really fun to like get all that instant information from across the league.
Yeah, I mean I can't say that enough. Well, guys, as far as I'm concerned, I have all the bases covered for you guys. I'm really happy to see both of you guys overachieving from, the dumb people who predicted you to do poorly. I really hope that keeps up. Alan, maybe
It's
not.
right where we thought we were going to be, and
Exactly.
still going to be there for 2 weeks from now for sure.
Maybe not so much for you. Yeah, that's right, because we do have a date upcoming with my squad. So, yeah, you guys are off to a hot start, albeit in different ways. So I really hope that keeps up for both of you guys. Is there anything we didn't touch on here today before I let both of you guys go?
No, I'm good. Looking forward to get back out there. Sunday can't come soon enough.
Yeah, same, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Well, great guys. Thanks for joining me here tonight. Really appreciate you guys both joining and sharing your views on the season so far this year. Like I said, best of luck to you guys in the coming games, except in 2 weeks for you, Alan. But but yeah, thanks again, guys, for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Cheers, Mike. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, so that's going to end the interview portion of it. Before I go tonight, I do want to share a couple of my thoughts from the rest of the week 2 slate. There's been a lot that's gone on, some big stories here that I don't want to leave before touching on. Of course, maybe the biggest story in the league going on right now is in Premier. Um, the BSC Raiders have started 0-2 in the season this year, a position they've probably never found themselves in before, certainly in the league here. Just what has happened here in the start for them? In my opinion, it's almost a collection of different things for them. There's no real like one set certain answer here when it comes to the Raiders, and why they've maybe misstepped here to start the season. For me, I think the biggest reason off the bat here is their attendance has been low in these coming games, and right now they're at a roster of 17 guys. So any shortage of that is certainly going to hurt them in games. I think the biggest miss, I mean, they're missing a lot of guys from last year's roster. Kendall is not back. Both their goalies are different, but I think they've at least found adequate replacements for those positions. But I really think losing Ryan Walter has hurt the defending champs the most. He's a player who does a lot of little things on the field for them. An engine out there defensively, um, willing to throw his body in front of shots, and just has like an infectious energy for the rest of the team. And without that out there, I think they sorely, sorely miss that. It's just it's a different thing. All of their players have tremendous skill and ability, but that like edge and that hard nose, the intangible kind of stuff that you see on the field, that Ryan brings to the pitch for them. I feel like they sorely, sorely miss that. And it'll be interesting to see how that can be replaced this year for them. The second reason I think maybe for this slip at the start is quite honestly, the league has never been stronger in Premier. Every team, it seems like, has improved in the division. Even the new sides, Beast, Polonia, and um, excuse me, Orchard Park OP Alliance. These are teams who, in previous years, maybe when they get promoted, like would have a shot at maybe the sixth playoff seed and fighting out with some of the other premier teams. But right now, the top, I want to say five teams, and even beyond that, the teams right below them are all in the mix with like top level talent. D1 players across the rosters for several teams. Um, you know, it- the top of our league has never had more success recruitment in recruiting players than it has this year. So I think the rest of the league and the teams are maybe catching up to them in terms of quality players across their own rosters. Um, and that's not to say that Raiders have slipped at all. They're still the same team that they were. I would just say that, you know, usually we're used to seeing one or two really big names land on this team. And they got, like I said, they got good players coming in. The return of Brett Stern, I was pretty excited for. I think he only featured in their opener. He didn't play yesterday. So I'm excited to see what he can do the rest of the season for Raiders, just as an example for them. But they don't have that like top recruit. Williamson is maybe the best example of it. The previous 2 years ago, I think, when he first joined the club, or maybe last year was his first year joining the team. Well, when I say last year, I mean season, I guess. Um, so there hasn't been quite that. And usually, what happens with the Raiders is they don't get that until maybe FC Buffalo season starts, and then you see them add 1 to 2 players from that FCB roster onto their BDSL team. And normally, I think that would be the case this year, but I would say that they were maybe beaten to the punch here coming into the season because it appears that some other teams who have connections to the FCB roster, namely Bus, have used those earlier rather than later, and maybe taken some of the guys who might wind up on BSC. And that's definitely going to come into play later on in the year. Like I don't know the rest of the FCB roster, but I know the guys who were announced, some of the top ones are already playing in BDSL. So it'll be very interesting to see what kind of recruitment they can still do here to help out the squad. Because I think, like I said, the roster is good, but at 17, I mean, for me, I'd want at least three more players on this team to really, really push them forward. And again, not to say that the current group can't do it, but I think this is a team that's sort of crying out for it. Some new blood to come and help them, and especially with the guys that they're missing. And the last reason I think there is something to be said for fatigue. I think this team has been the top of the division, 3-time defending champs, and beyond that, I think 2 or 3 years before that, after the year Amherst won. So this has been the king of the BDSL for so long, and you got to wonder, not to say that they're like sitting on any sort of laurels or whatever, but There might be some like, you know, fatigue seeping in on the team overall. Um, just to have that like high standard level of play season in, season out is a tough ask. Especially when you can take into consideration how improved the league is, um, up and down, like we've talked about here. So, all of those factors, I think, have kind of played into their 0-2 start. Now, me myself, I'm not about to write them off. They have Beast next week, which, I mean, if they lose that game, I think you can start really sounding some alarm bells. After that, a huge game against Bus. Probably, for my money right now, Bus is the number one or two team in the league, with Lackawanna. I know Queenston is undefeated and Amherst is undefeated as well, but I like those two teams just a little bit more than the former clubs I mentioned there. Um, so that will be a super important matchup for them, when that rolls around at the end of May here. And then, going forward, they're always a threat to pick up 3 points. So it'll be interesting to see if they can rebound against Beast. Maybe that game can't come at a better time for them. And then after that, we'll see what happens against Bus. But um, to say that they are out of the woods right here is not true. I mean, like I just pointed out, there are several contributing factors to the slow start, and unless something changes a little bit, and they get a couple guys, I think, which they really do need to do. Um, it. I'm not going to pick them to not make the playoffs, not by a long shot, but there are cracks here, and teams are taking advantage of it so far. Um, Maybe the next biggest story in the league. Let me switch over to the tables here. Um, like I said, championship has been wide open. Um, it's been a very close division. My team lost our first game to Lycan, and seeing the results around the league, like we talked about West Side, surprising some people. Um, has been a strong indication of the start. It looks like Cavs are on their way to a victory tonight. I just saw it was 3-0. So the table is wide open in championship, and I think it will continue along that path. I still think Olean has the edge over everyone else, um, and Rangers might be in the most trouble. But aside from that, in my opinion, the division is totally up for grabs for any of the promotion spots. In first division, I still really like NMBFC. They still are my favorites. I know they had kind of a rough outing in the Teal Cup, maybe exposed defensively a little bit, but I don't think they'll have that much trouble versus the D1 slate than they will on their Sunday games. And, having the cup out of the way now, they can turn all of their attention and focus on there. With Gunners in the position that they are in, I, it's hard to say that they're going to be completely out of it because it's still a very strong team overall. But it definitely has given a boost to everyone else in that division, especially the seven, because playoffs end at 7 in this division this year. Um, it especially gives all of those clubs a boost to try and make those last few playoff spots. I think the bottom of the table and the top of the table are really kind of really shaking out and being clear here. There's still like the maybe 6 through 9 is debatable, but the teams who are kind of at the top and are at the bottom, I sort of expect that to hold unless Gunners can get back into the mix, and that's a really hard ask for them to do. But they have the players who could do it. Um, in D2, I think we will continue to see that Pepper is maybe the better division than Simpkin. Um, but in Simpkin, I mean Southern Tier FC. We talked a lot on the podcast last week about the Southern influence now that seems to be permeating a lot of the new teams in the league, and I think that Southern Tier is a strong indication of there is a lot of overlooked talent down there, and their inclusion in the league has proven to be a boost. I really think they're the best team in Simpkin. FK Bosna has a lot of heat coming behind them. I think they're playing tonight. I don't know if there is an update on that game. Um, Are they playing Great White Buffalo? I don't think so. Um, but that would be an interesting team to watch too, FKB. A shout out to their podcast too. If you guys haven't listened to it, The Cage, I think it's on Twitter. Um, the league account retweeted it or favorited it the one time, but FKB's manager Admir and one of his players, they have a podcast focusing on the Lackawanna teams that are in the league, and it's really good. I mean, they've talked a lot of BDSL soccer. Their first couple episodes, they're going to talk um, a lot about their UPSL team, um, which you know um, is whatever. But a lot of good information there from them, and I appreciate the different outlook that they have on the league as not like a them versus us kind of thing, but how strong of a like family type environment that they're how they view the BDSL as. It's really like a collection of teams, and they're all supporting each other, and I certainly appreciate that. And then down in Division Three, we talked about South Buffalo's rise. I like them a lot now. Those two wins, I did say they came against some of the bottom teams, but I've seen good enough offense out of them where I think that that can continue. Um, Willie's kind of gone back and forth a little bit. Oh, someone just said Outlaws and FKB drew 1-1. That can't be because can it? Oh, Outlaws. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking of. I always get Outlaws and Buffalo Italia confused for some reason. Um, I don't know why, but I do. So FKB tying Outlaws. That's a good result for Outlaws, I think. I mean, I saw them as being a middle of the table to playoff team. Um, so that's a pretty good result for them. Um, especially with if FKB has all their firepower out there. Um, so thanks for that update there. I think I did see that result, and that just slipped my mind earlier. But whatever. Yeah, so in D3, I like South Buffalo's outlook. Hamburg Monarchs are top of the table right now, but I'm not totally sold on that team. They beat Lazio in week one. Who was their week two win this week? I can't quite remember. Celtic. Yeah, I mean not the toughest of competition for them. They have Meerkats this week, so if they pull a result from that, then maybe I'll change my mind. But I think this division, similar to last year, is going to have a lot of parity in those middle pairings. Maybe the bottom three teams are pretty clear cut, but after that, it's almost anyone's game for playoffs. I mean, we loved Meerkats at the beginning of the year, and here I am. They're 2-0, but I still feel like they should be performing better. I don't know why that is. They beat Big Green 3-2. I felt like that should have been at least a two-goal win for them. And they beat Rust Belt 4-1, which I would have expected them to do. So, I mean, that's kind of my outlook on the table after 2 weeks here. Couple big result or games this weekend coming up in the league, and cup action is coming up too. So lots of different storylines. Again, it's hard not to touch on the Raiders and go a little bit more in depth on that one versus the other ones, just because you know of how long they've kind of ran the show here in BDSL top division, and how all of a sudden that appears to be changing. Um, and I think if that continues, that's going to be a hot topic all year. Um, just what is going on over there. Um, and if it changes, they'll have a different way to have claimed a championship in the league instead of being on top all the time. So um, a lot to look forward to here. We have the Memorial Day break coming up, so a couple more games before we hit that. And then, once June starts, it's pretty much every week through the whole month. So, lots and lots of BDSL soccer. I want to thank all you guys for joining me here tonight. Really, really appreciate it. Um, Again, it's a lot of fun doing this, especially on weeks where there's a lot of positive things to talk about, and I don't have to deal with the red cards and all the extra stuff. It makes doing this a lot more enjoyable. So credit to all you guys and managers and teams and players for making that so easy the first couple weeks of the season. So shout out to all you guys for doing that. Thanks to you guys for joining me live who have done so. Again, really love doing it. So next week we'll probably have a couple more teams come on and talk about their season. And then maybe at the end of the month we'll bring maybe Brian and Ben back on because I thought that cast was last week was maybe one of the best ones we've ever done. And mainly because those guys just have a real strong wealth of knowledge about the league. So the conversation about not just the top division, but the middle ones and the bottom ones are all really, really good. I think that's kind of the best format is to kind of keep conversations with the teams in between and then bring out Brian and Ben to kind of recap big moments. So again, my thanks to Westside and South Buffalo for joining me this week. It was really fun talking to them. They've proved me wrong so far in the season so far, and I hope that continues. I I might pick teams to do bad, but that's only because I have to. But really, I love all you teams equally, honest to God. I don't care who wins almost any week aside from the team that I'm playing with my own team. So it's just really great following the league as closely as I do. So thanks again for joining me here tonight. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow to catch the replay. Any closing games here? I'll just check real quick before we go. Seems like Great White Buffalo is knotted up with FC Lackawanna at the half, 0-0. And I don't know if Cavs game went final. They're up 4-0. Hat trick for Matt Barth, former Roo. So congratulations to him. Seems like that game's almost in the bag. So again, thanks for everyone for joining me tonight. I'm going to wrap it up now. I'll be back next week, but I'll see the rest of you guys out on the pitch. Take care till then. Thanks, guys.